Coming up on the Pop Warner Super Bowl preview show, the best in the nation are coming at you. We'll rumble through the brackets with 11 divisions of football teams looking to score a championship. We'll go the extra yards with all the details. Plus, breakout and celebration, there are some serious cheer and dance squads eyeing their own hardware. It's an uplifting experience unlike any other. Our bracket reveal show starts now. Let's get down and enjoy it. Holiday season is here, and so is championship week. Welcome to the Pop Warner Super Bowl preview show. I'm Rishi Barron. Santa's Sleigh Ride and the Pop Warner National Championships have something in common. For both, young men and women count down the days in December each year for their arrival. St. Nick's time is coming soon enough. We're here to unwrap the details of another jam-packed week of fantastic football and choreography. The Pop Warner Little Scholars Organization has a motto: leave it all on the field. That's not just in competition, but more importantly, in the game of life. That's what Pop Warner's been doing since 1929, building futures for student athletes participating in its football, dance, and cheer programs. Everyone involved in Little Scholars is adding to the legacy of the man who created this vision, legendary coach Glenn Pop Warner. Among the organization's top goals, instilling lifelong values of teamwork, dedication, and a superior work ethic both on the field and in the classroom. The NFL Players Association estimates that about 70% of the men you see suiting up on Sundays started their careers on Pop Warner fields. But whether you grow up to be George Kittle or George the local dentist, the Little Scholars program can have a significant impact on your life. We spoke with some of this year's coaches and learned how Pop Warner influenced their programs.
Pop Warner means the world, man. I played Pop Warner my whole life growing up, all the way through high school, college, and I think at the end of the day, we're turning boys into men. Hard work and energy and just everything that they need to do to get, through life and to be successful in life. It starts at this age.
Personally, opportunity. We took a team from Valdosta, Georgia with 17 kids, and we take them to play teams across the world. We're just grateful to be here with a talented team and the opportunity. So Pop Warner for us means opportunity to showcase our talent.
Pop Warner is super influential in all these kids' lives. We try to teach our kids that, at the end of the day, football is going to come and go, but the lessons that they learn out here through the coaches and just football in general is what they need to take away.
The history heading into Pop Warner Super Bowl 67 is deep. More will be made in the next week of action. This year, 88 teams will fight for 11 titles. They'll be on the field from December 7th through the 14th. And if the past tells us anything about the present, we are in for some epic moments. Before we get to the first bracket, let's look back to last year's 14U winners in Division I. We had co-champions. The North Long Beach Panthers topped their California neighbors from South Marin 28-6. The Panthers were joined by some Eagles, the ones from Massachusetts celebrating a title too. The Dorchester Elite Eagles, the other 14U champ, posting a 20-0 win over Pennsylvania's Derby Monarchs. We'll have a new champ in the division this year. South Florida will kick things off against the Santa Margarita Cowboys. Red Bank, New Jersey's St. James Royals face the Churchland Tigers, who've been in Pop Warner since 1968. Florida's Port Orange Hawks clawed out with the three-time national champion Edgewood Eagles, and the Weston Warriors, who live right around the corner from Dan Marino in South Florida, take on Coyote Creek out of California. And who says the 14-year-olds have all the fun? The Division I 13 and under bracket is loaded too. Let's bring in our bracketologist, Jakari Peters, to share more on who's in that competition. Jakari?
Rishi, we are set up for some banger matchups. But before we get into that, we have to take a look back at the 13U winner championship D1 from last year. The Illinois Junior Celtics defeated the West Chase Colts out of Florida 41-8 to claim the Division I 13U championship. The team went undefeated as well. However, they won't be defending their championship in Orlando this year. So let's see which teams will have a shot to take the title. The Malden Cyclones out of the Northeast versus the Creekside Warriors hailing out of the Pacific Northwest. Then you got the winner of that game will go against the winner of our next matchup, the West Chase Colts representing the Southeast versus the Bloomfield Junior Warhawks, throwing up the deuces for the second team out of the Northeast. Switching over to the next winner-winner scenario, the Odell Eagles with back-to-back trips to the Pop Warner Super Bowl are ready to go from semifinalists to champions. While representing the Mid-South, they will be taking on the Oceanside Warriors, who had to beat 3 different conference champs just to secure a spot. They will be holding it down for the West, with the winner of that game going against the winner of the Abington Raiders, led by their 15-year veteran head coach, Robert Mims, for the East. They will face off against the Addison Cowboys, hailing out of the Mid-Atlantic. One notch below 13 are 12s. Let's take a look at their bracket. We're going to swing it over to Jordan Osborne.
Thanks, Shakari. They may be younger, but these 12-year-olds are just as hungry. Before we look at their bracket in Division I, let's look back at who won it all last year. The Avalon Wolves from Florida were crowned last year's Division I 12U Pop Warner Super Bowl champions. They finished their season undefeated at Camping World Stadium, led by head coach Fred McNeil. But, of course, this is a new year, and here you have it. First up, the Hartford Hurricanes from Connecticut will take on the Apopka Darters from Florida. Then it's a battle of the birds, as the Enon Eagles, coming out of Ohio, will face off against the Fort Myers Falcons from Florida. Enon says they pride themselves on effort and discipline on and off the field. Dewey Paxson coaches the West Chase Colts from Florida. He coached a handful of players who went to the NFL. His team will go head-to-head with the NRWF Bulldogs coming out of North Carolina. Finally, the NYSA Dragons from Texas will square off against the Saddleback Valley Blue Bears, who are making the trip from California. Their coach, Dave Cole, says his team hits hard and plays hard. There you go, Rishi. Those are some of the teams ready to get down to business and win themselves the Super Bowl.
Awesome info. Thank you so much, Jordan. Hey, there's another great show in town taking place at the Orange County Convention Center. Its numbers are just as impressive. More than 500 teams competing for 4 days in the 37th Pop Warner Cheer and Dance Championships. If you've never been, I promise you, it is cartwheels full of fun. The cheer and dance competitions have grown significantly since starting out in 1988. 6 different age groups are now showing off their skills. Teams are also grouped into small, medium, and large team competitions. There's something for everyone. Show cheer 1 through 4, core cheer, sideline performance cheer, pom performance, theme dance, and hip hop. So don't miss out on all the excitement. Hey, we are off and running, but there are many more brackets to unveil and champs to crown. Our Pop Warner Super Bowl preview show rolls on.
The growth of this school has been so gratifying to see, and it's only the beginning. From the start, I knew we were going to have a great faculty, great facilities, and great guests from the industry, but the most satisfying thing for me has been to see the excitement and the talents that our students display every single day. They are what makes this program special. We designed this program to be challenging, and the goal from the start was to mimic the industry our students would be entering. So we put them in real-world situations. You're covering live college sports. You're calling esports matches. You're working behind the anchor desk. And they've taken the challenges head on. And now that hard work is paying off. We have graduates working all over the country in all facets of the industry, from on-air jobs at local stations to behind-the-scenes jobs at large companies. Our grads are taking the industry by storm. Can't wait to see where we go from here. If you want to be a sportscaster, if you want to break into this business, this is the place to be. New classes start every month. I hope you'll join us.
Being a leader means doing the right thing.
Even when it's hard.
Using your voice.
To support others.
To lift people up.
Not tear them down.
To make a difference.
A leader means being brave.
Not following the crowd.
So, reach out to a new teammate.
The one who's struggling.
Show respect and spread compassion.
Be the one who sets positive examples and inspires others.
Be the one that teammates can turn to.
Be a leader.
The Citrus Bowl is an annual New Year's Day tradition at Camping World Stadium, and for the past few Decembers, the stadium has also been home to the Pop Warner Super Bowl, which is just days away. Hey, it's only a short drive to the stadium for the Avalon Wolves, and boy did they make it count last year. Avalon won the 11U championship with a 26-0 victory over the Dixmoor Vikings. The Wolves' defense was on top of its game, carrying Avalon to the title in its first year as a Pop Warner affiliate. In this year's D1 11U bracket, the Fort Myers Junior Firecats are making their first trip to Nationals. They'll play last year's 10U runner-up, the undefeated Coastal Cowboys out of Wilmington, North Carolina. The Creekside Warriors travel cross-country from San Jose, California to open up against the Abington Raiders from Pennsylvania. Ohio's NEO Flight Wolfpack has a date with the pride of New England, the New Haven Steelers. And straight out of the Garden of the Gods, it's the Colorado Springs Vikings tangling with the Beach City Sharks, who bring some extra bite to this bracket. The Sunshine State took home another title in the Division I 10U bracket. The Palmetto Raiders had a fun ride home over the Skyway Bridge after taking care of business over North Carolina's Coastal Cowboys. The Raiders won a hard-fought battle 13-0, both teams exemplifying what the Pop Warner experience is all about. If you're a fan of physical football, you'll love the Richmond Heights Fast Break in 10U this year. The heart of Richmond Heights comes from the trenches, which is big when you're facing Florida's Venice Vikings. The Marietta Blitzhawks from California have made their community proud for more than 30 years in football. Their first test, Connecticut's New Britain Junior Canes. The Harrisburg Cowboys going up against the Downingtown Young Whippets. They're 60 years strong, and they'll fight it out with another juggernaut. But last but not least, it's the Portsmouth Bruins from Virginia and Central Texas's finest, the Westlake Chaparrals. Team first is another guiding principle of Pop Warner. There are no tryouts, and safety is always a top priority. That's a perfect environment to play in, especially for the youngest student athletes on the field. Jackson Burleson is here to introduce the Division I 9U group. Jackson, tell us what it's all about.
Well, the 9-year-olds, they're set for the 2024 Pop Warner Super Bowl. And before we show you the brackets for this year's Division I and II teams, let's take a look back at who won it all in 2023. So last year in Division I 9U, it came down to the Richmond Heights Conquerors and the West Chase Colts. Head coach Eddie Hughes led the Conquerors over the Colts 8-6. They sealed the deal with a quarterback sneak to be crowned champion. Let's go to the bracket. The first matchup is the Downingtown Young Whippets versus Hartford Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are the 9U Pop Warner Connecticut State Champions. Next, it is the Santa Margarita Cowboys versus the Northwest Tide. Third, the West Chase Colts versus Odell Eagles. Now check this out. The Eagles have only allowed 5 first downs all year on defense. And finally, the Bellarica Warriors versus Oviedo Lions. This is the Oviedo Lions' 4th time representing at Nationals. This will be their first time as D1 and the youngest age to make it so far for their organization. The Division II 9U championship was the Battle of Florida. The Coconut Grove Cowboys faced off with the North Pinellas Panthers. The Cowboys won 12-0. The team was honored at the Miami City Commission meeting, recognizing their hard work and determination. It will be the Stratford Renegades versus Greater Area South Bend Bulldogs. The Renegades were the 2023 8U New England Pop Warner champions. Next is the Mo Better Jaguars versus Santa Cruz Seahawks. The Jaguars have produced 2 NFL players, Curtis Samuel, a wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, and former Philadelphia Eagles safety Jaquan Jarrett. Then the Lake Norman Giants take on the Santa Margarita Cowboys. The Cowboys have 2 alumni in the NFL, quarterback Matt Corral of the Carolina Panthers and wide receiver River Craycraft for the Miami Dolphins. Finally, the Titletown Titans will take on the Westlake Chaparrals. Let's move on from the 9U to the 10s and 11s where Jakari Peters is standing by. Jakari, what should we know about these 2 age groups for Pop Warner football?
Thanks, Jackson. Yeah, the 10-year-olds are just as excited as the 9-year-olds you were just speaking about. They're just as hungry and excited. Before we get into the Division II bracket, though, let's look back at who won it all in this division last year. The Dun-Ellen Tigers beat the Northeast Bulldogs from New York to win the crown. And the town of Dun-Ellen was so excited for Coach Eric Cox and his group, they dedicated the entire week of celebration to the team last January. And for the bracket, the Edgewood Eagles versus the Norristown Bengals. And then you got the Cicero Falcons, led by Victor Henderson, who was 34-1 in his past 3 seasons. They will go against the Menlo Atherton Vikings. And then you go down to the Coconut Grove Cowboys versus the Saddleback Valley Blue Bears, who will be returning 16 players. Brian Carpenter, their head coach, says this team prides themselves on playing physical. And the last matchup of this bracket, the Greater LaPorte Slicers versus the Capital City Steelers, who their coach says has the best offensive line in the entire Mid-Atlantic region. But let's pump it up to 11U. The Addison Cowboys out of Illinois were on a Pop Warner mission, finishing a national runner-up 2 years ago. Last year, they beat the Enon Eagles 18-0 to claim the throne, but they won't have a chance to retain their title. So we will have a new champ for 11U. The Fleming Island Dreadnoughts, Southeast having won championships, looking to bring that energy here versus the Capital City Steelers, who are 2-time Mid-South Regional champions in 23 and 24. Then you go down to the Port Arthur Junior Bees versus the Draycut Middies. They've had the same coaching staff since '08, with Mark Rossetti leading the helm. And then you got the Saddleback Valley Blue Bears, once again led by Coach Cannon, who has been coaching Pop Warner since 1994. They will versus against the Lower Perk Longhorns. And then we have the Merrillview Pirates out of the Mid-Americas versus the Santa Margarita Cowboys from the West. And Rishi, one other note, the forecast for these games is looking amazing. These teams will have a chance to be treated to some amazing Florida weather.
Yeah, Jakari, it's always nice to go on vacation too, right, while you're capping your incredible season. Thanks for all your reporting there. The party's not done yet, though. One segment still awaits. Lots of teams still hungry to see who they're matching up with and their assignments in Orlando. That's all revealed next.
The growth of this school has been so gratifying to see, and it's only the beginning. From the start, I knew we were going to have a great faculty, great facilities, and great guests from the industry, but the most satisfying thing for me has been to see the excitement and the talents that our students display every single day. They are what makes this program special. We designed this program to be challenging, and the goal from the start was to mimic the industry our students would be entering. So we put them in real-world situations. You're covering live college sports. You're calling esports matches. You're working behind the anchor desk. And they've taken the challenges head on. And now that hard work is paying off. We have graduates working all over the country in all facets of the industry, from on-air jobs at local stations to behind-the-scenes jobs at large companies. Our grads are taking the industry by storm. Can't wait to see where we go from here. If you want to be a sportscaster, if you want to break into this business, this is the place to be. New classes start every month. I hope you'll join us.
Being a leader means doing the right thing.
Even when it's hard.
Using your voice.
To support others.
To lift people up.
Not tear them down.
To make a difference.
A leader means being brave.
Not following the crowd.
So, reach out to a new teammate.
The one who's struggling.
Show respect and spread compassion.
Be the one who sets positive examples and inspires others.
Be the one that teammates can turn to.
Be a leader.
That should get you fired up for the Pop Warner Cheer and Dance Championships. They'll be taking place between December 9th and 12th. Here's a look at the schedule. More than 500 teams will compete for championships at the Orange County Convention Center. Each team will showcase its best routine with national titles on the line. Start times are at 8 a.m. each day of competition. Back to the football and a look back at the 2023 champions in Division II 12U bracket. It's the Maple Heights Saints out of Ohio. Thank you very much. They defeated the Connecticut-based West Haven Seahawks 39-13. That's a vision from the ghost of Christmas past. Let's bring it back to the present now. We still have the 12 and 13U groups in Division II to reveal, and Jordan Osborne's back to fill them in. Jordan, what do you have?
Thanks, Rishi. In the D2 12U bracket, there are teams from all over the country. 8 squads came from 6 different states. Here are your matchups for the first round. The Florida Cape Coral Junior Sharks will face off against the Coastal Panthers, who are from North Carolina and won the D3 Regional Championship last season. Next, the Mentors of Tomorrow's Cowboys from Florida will battle the Downtown Young Whippets from Pennsylvania. The East Bay Warriors from California will travel to square off against the Neo Wolfpacks, coached by Daniel Banks. Finally, the Manchester Redhawks will go head-to-head with the Yerbelinda Blue Colts, led by Coach Chuck McLeod. The Downingtown Young Whippets from Pennsylvania won the 2023 Pop Warner Division II 13U Championship. This marks their 5th national title, having also claimed the 12U National Championship in 2021 and 2022. It should be a batch of exciting games in this bracket as well. First up, we have Naples Hurricanes from Florida, who will be facing off against the 719 Outlaws from Colorado. Next, the North Carolina Weddington Titans will take on the Plainsfield Saints coming out of Illinois. This team has grown from a one-win team to regional champions. Then, the Lower Perk Longhorns from Pennsylvania will battle the Connecticut West Haven Seahawks. Finally, the California La Costa Canyon Mavericks will go head-to-head with the East Bay Warriors, who are also making the trip to California, from California. That puts a wrap on the brackets. The competition is going to be fierce but friendly. Good luck to all the teams vying for a championship.
Thank you so much, Jordan. And hey, if you can't make it to Orlando to see the football games or cheer competition, don't worry. You can follow all the action on Flo Sports. FloFootball will be live streaming football games, while FloCheer is streaming cheer and dance competitions. For more details, check out popwarnersuperbowl.com. And that's a wrap on this year's show. 88 football teams, 11 champions to be crowned on the field, many more celebrations for the cheer and dance competitors. A holiday season to remember for these amazing young men and women. Good luck to every one of them. For Jordan, Jakari, Jackson, and the rest of our whole amazing production team, I'm Rishi Barron. Thank you for watching the Pop Warner Super Bowl Preview Show.